He told us, smiling, that contractors are disposable. That's why we hire them, so we can cut them loose whenever we want. 2 weeks later, one of my teammates unplugged his laptop, walked right up to that exact manager, and said, "Thanks, this is my last day." What happened next made everyone wish the manager had kept his mouth shut. If you've ever been disrespected at work, hit subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment where you're listening from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. Now sit tight, because this one's personal. The smell of burnt coffee and recycled air, that was my life. I'd been contracting for years, always the guy they called when the project was messy and no one else wanted it. The job posting said, 12 months expected, at will of the employer. Translation? We'll cut you the second it's convenient. I ran a team of 10 contractors. We scheduled sprints, untangled spaghetti code, kept stand-ups from collapsing into chaos. But in the company's eyes, we were just badges with expiration dates. Then HR dropped a bomb. 3 people from your team are being let go. Today, you'll need to tell them. They handed me a script, cold, lifeless. I'll never forget how it felt reading those words under the buzzing fluorescent lights. This is your last day. Please turn in your badge. The looks on their faces, disbelief, anger, one of them just sat in silence, staring at the floor. I carried that guilt like a lead weight. Later that afternoon, I stormed into the glass office of our program sponsor, the guy running our project. He leaned back, smirked, and said the line burned into my memory. That's why we hire contractors, so we can cut them loose whenever we want. I clenched my jaw so hard it hurt. It wasn't just arrogance, it was policy, a belief that people were tools. But one of my teammates, let's call him Mark, wasn't having it. He was quiet, brilliant, the kind of engineer who could take a broken system and make it sing. He had built the foundation of our platform almost single-handedly. He'd documented some things, but the truth was most of the system lived in his head. One day he pulled me aside and whispered, "I've got another job lined up. Start soon. Don't tell anyone." And then came the day. At 5 p.m., with the office winding down, Mark stood, unplugged his laptop, and walked across the floor. Calm, crisp, no drama. He set his gear on the sponsor's desk, looked him in the eye, and said, "Thanks for everything. This is my last day." The sponsor froze. "Wait, you're leaving?" "Yep." Mark smiled, turned, and walked out. No speech, no mic drop, just dignity. That's when the panic began. Phones started ringing. The sponsor fired off emails, first polite, then desperate. He even sent me late-night messages. "Can you get Mark to just answer a few questions?" But Mark had moved on, and his silence was louder than any speech. Within days, the system started cracking. Bugs piled up. Deadlines slipped. Tickets froze. Every question led to a dead end, because the one person who knew the architecture was already building a future somewhere else. I'll never forget watching managers scramble. People who'd once rolled their eyes at us, contractors, were suddenly begging for updates. They called emergency meetings that went in circles, brought in knowledge experts who charged 3 times Mark's rate, and even tried bluffing clients with half-truths. It didn't work. Clients complained. Executives started circling. Pressure hit every corner of the project like a storm. And through it all, Mark was untouchable. He didn't slam doors or torch bridges. He didn't even say a bad word on his way out. He just walked into a better job and left a hole no one else could fill. The man who once bragged about cutting people loose now sat in late-night calls, face pale, explaining why nothing was working. The smug grin, gone, replaced with pure panic. For me, it was a turning point, too. I stopped accepting disposable as normal. I started asking the questions leadership hated. What's our turnover risk? Who else knows this system? How do we protect knowledge instead of gambling with it? Because the truth is, arrogance has consequences. And sometimes those consequences come back faster than anyone expects. If I carry one image from that chapter, it's Mark calmly placing his laptop on the desk, saying, "Thanks, this is my last day," and walking out into a better future. No fireworks, no shouting, just dignity and fallout. And sometimes that's the sharpest revenge of all. So now I'll ask you, when have you seen arrogance meet reality at work? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because the more these stories spread, the harder it gets for anyone to call people disposable.